Okay, folks, welcome back. Gonna pick up where we left off on these Soviet steel beasts. Let's see where we're at here. On these Soviet steel beasts. Okay, this one's complete. We're going to do the other heavy armor version with this one as well. Looks like we're cut off the pieces and we were sanding. I am. I am, Joe. I was saying earlier, I said, I wonder if you would have said if you had like 5 packages of them, what I would have done. Probably would have told you to get them. It just, you can't get these anymore. I don't understand what the problem is. You know, and it's not that these are far and beyond better than anything else that's out there, but for the price point, you get 2 vehicles which you can make 2 different ways for $15. Any other KV2 worth a KV1 worth a damn is about $20 for one of them, and you don't have a separate turret that you can switch it. It just doesn't make sense not to get these. So there actually is an operation. Not that I'm interested in building this, but you know, just a matter of fact, I found out recently. I was reading a book on Kursk, and I've mentioned this before on this channel, that in one of the books I was reading, the northern pincer, so the one where Model is of Kursk, after it, you know, it was petering out, it was getting stuck in places like Poneri and places like that. The Germans were being held by the Soviets. The Soviets did a counterattack, basically behind them, to distract them even more and try to encircle the guys that were punching from the north. And in that counterattack, it was led by 50, remember this is middle of 1943, 50 KV2s. 50 KV2s in mid-43, they must have been sitting in storage somewhere, you know? Well, they got destroyed. I mean, they came up against, you know, some conf group that, you know, that attack did work, but it wasn't because of the Panzer. It wasn't because of the KV2s. So you can use them even as late as Kursk, you know, if you're a sadist. Okay. Yeah, I found that out interestingly enough. I was reading a book and didn't know about that. That's the kind of stuff I like, all those tactical details. I don't really care about these grand strategic type things, but even sometimes when there's a grand strategic type book, there's still some tactical details that sneak their way in, and that's the kind of stuff I'm interested in. Yeah, the other day I was like, I'll get all 4 of them done. I got 1 done. Yeah, I could have built them all, and it'd look like shit. You know, that's not the point. There's no rush. It's not like we got to have these done for any particular reason. Thought I was going to start reading the rules soon, but work is just too difficult. Work is too difficult and too hot. Double whammy. Okay. Hey, Nordic. Welcome. Wasn't able to get on last night. It just got too late, and there's no point in starting at 9. We should be on tomorrow as well. And maybe Friday, but I'm not going to be on Saturday morning. I've got to go take a car for service. This one's actually not our car. It's a car that these people that we know are out of town. Okay. This goes up here. You took 2 9-year-olds to a playground, library, and candy store. Man, I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take a 9-year-old to a candy store. Not if I gotta watch him. Why is the little bastard jumping around? Really? I didn't even hear that one going down. There's always fumbles. I didn't feel like it went down here. I guess it did. Well, let's see. No flashlight. Is that it? Nope. There's little bits of plastic here from all the crimes against humanity that we're doing. Killing all these pieces of plastic. I don't know where the hell that one went. I really am not in the mood to look for it. Especially since, next thing I know, it's not in my hand. Okay, well, I'm going to move on and skip to that. It'll turn up eventually. They're not bad behaving kids. Yeah. I made it a point last weekend to not go outside as much as I could. It's blazing hot. Okay. The saw goes. Did we not cut the saw off? Let's see what's left here. Hatches. We don't need no stinking hatches. Have a little bit of a headache. So I really don't want to be bent over looking under the table. It'll turn up eventually. If not, we'll make this an earlier version and we'll block that off. Because the early one didn't have any machine guns. There. Now, we'll find it. It's not like I have carpeting or anything. Oh, excess of 105? That's nothing. I think last week every day was over 118. That's just like I'm staying inside. Okay, so this is the one. No, here it is. Then I'm missing the one for the turret? Okay. I thought it was the one for the hull. Jeez, do I need to go to bed? Nope. Drink. Well, I haven't checked to see if there's any crazy Historicon videos. Although I did hear some people were complaining about this, that, or the other, and like, hey, when's it going to move back to the host? Shit show. We got a really bad lightning storm yesterday when I got home. And enough that it must have surged and the refrigerator went out again. That's happened twice now that I know of. And it's a new refrigerator, but luckily I was home, otherwise we'd have everything rotten again. Cicada. Tree roaches. We have them here all the time, but we don't have an infestation of them. It's not like, 400 of them or... one time I remember I was driving back from Miami and I stopped at a rest area. I don't remember which one it was. I want to say it was the one that was in Fort Drum, which is like basically the middle of nowhere. Might have been the one closer to Orlando. This is 15 years ago, maybe even longer than that. I get out to go use the bathroom, get a soda, whatever the hell it is. And that it? Turns up when you don't look for it. Asshole. And I get out of the car and the floor is moving. So I look down everywhere on the floor, on the concrete, the pavement to get inside the rest area, the plaza. It's covered in mole crickets. And mole crickets are, evil looking as shit, right? Some bugs are cooler than others, I went to work and there was a big old moth, I should have taken a picture of it, that was on the door. It was cool. It was about, and I don't exaggerate, his wingspan was about that big. And his body was maybe like that. He was yellow. Cool. I leave him alone, But, yeah, not mole crickets. They look sinister. All right, this is the turret that we're going to put in. So I think a good learning exercise, if I ever get around to it, is, and I've got the vehicles to do this, to practice these vehicle rules, is give the Russians one of these guys. Give them one. And the Germans have 3 Czech 38s that have to go across the board and exit off the side the Russian one is, just to see how things work. I don't think a Czech 38 can penetrate. Well, they give them one that doesn't have the heavy armor. I don't think it can penetrate it. But, got to be something really simple. It's better than just throwing, a BT-5 and a BT-7 and a Czech 38 or something like that. Urizoni. I've never heard that before. The largest roach I ever saw was down in Orlando. Sucker was almost as big as a small dog. Okay, exaggerate, but man, that sucker was almost the size of my face. I hate roaches. I absolutely hate them. And by roaches, you mean palmetto bugs. You know, palmetto bug, if they come in your house, knock on wood, I don't really have any. We spray the shit. We paid for pest control. Sorry. Got to. I'm scared to death of those things. They creep me the hell out. They just move fast and erratically. They're in your house because there's billions outside. They don't come in for food. They're not interested in that. Now, what we have had is with all the rain that we've gotten certain times, we've got some animals that work their way inside the house that normally wouldn't be inside the house. And I can't even remember what they are right now. Oh, stuff like millipedes and things like that. You know, you never see those things inside the house, but, you know, the home is flooded. So, but we really don't get bugs inside the house because we spray. Or we don't spray. We pay somebody to hopefully spray. I remember when I lived in the condo, my wife had moved in, and the room that we used as the bedroom was the old game room. Well, it's on the second floor, and it overlooked the main, call it the family room, right? The great room downstairs. It was like above the open dining room area, and then there was a wall, and you could peek over from your bedroom and see if somebody's watching TV or whatever. And that whole big room was all open, which was, I thought, really cool. You've got basically from the floor, you got about 30 feet to the ceiling because it's vaulted and it goes up to the second floor. Okay. Now to the vaulted ceiling, there's a ceiling fan. There's a ceiling fan from the vaulted ceiling that is in the middle of that room that I'm able to look out of from the bedroom. So it's probably on a 12-foot shaft, at least a 10-foot shaft, just so it can get down low enough that you can feel the wind on the lower level. And our bed was in the loft. They call it a loft, but it's really a master bedroom with not any privacy if you're coming up the stairs, but it's not really a problem. We're the only ones that live there, and I lived there by myself for many years. So we're trying to go to sleep one night, laying in bed, our feet are towards where the overlook is, where the fan is, and my wife, I don't remember if we were married at the time or not, she sees a palmetto bug, because see, those condominiums were all in a bunch of woods, and they had T111 siding. So like rain on Monday, and it would still be wet and damp on Friday, even if it never rained again, because it was just like in a freaking rainforest. You know, decaying leaves. That's, you know, palmetto bug haven. That's what they're there for. That's what they're interested in. All that decaying matter. I said there's billions here. There were trillions there. So one of them, she saw it on the roof over the great room. Now remember, it's like 30 feet from you can't kill it from there. You can't spray it with anything. And she saw it crawl underneath the ceiling fan thing, and she couldn't sleep, not wondering when the hell it was going to come out. But the reality is they're not interested in you. But the problem is they just move so damn erratically and take flight, and they're disgusting looking, you know. You mean a venomous snake? Step past the trash can. Encountered a roach in Texas once. Hit that thing with a combat boot 5 times before the loud, horrible crack finally was heard. Mr. Barnes. Welcome back. You are a night owl, my friend. Good. I'm glad. You know, we got about 10 of you guys that consistently get on when I'm on here, so I appreciate it. And it might be more than 10, but the regular's on right now. Just wanted to come in for some talk radio. That's what I used to do. I used to listen to talk radio all the time. And there's no talk radio that isn't like politics or freaking news, or I don't want to listen to that crap. Skylab, welcome back. Bug stories. There's no bugs in Utah. Okay. We won't put it in that way. We'll put it in from the back. We'll put it in there, and then we'll glue it in from the back. Yeah, this other one was a pain in the butt to put on there too. So I was reading I think it was a YouTube channel program that I saw that caught my attention. It was suggested to me, and this guy had done something along the lines of 10 most overrated things about the Second World War, or 10 most annoying things, or something like that. Anyways, he had a list, and I'm like, all right, I'll bite. And it was something like, I forget exactly how he worded it, but one of the things he mentioned is that the Chinese, the war with the Chinese in the Second World War is like forgotten about. And again, I'll say it. If they just wrote in English characters, it's easier for people to pick up on that kind of stuff. Mr. Glenn. Why are so many people afraid of spiders? I've seen big-ass dudes, like afraid of spiders. One time on a deck porch, a spider crawled across my lap, and I flicked it off, landed on his lap, and jumped up screaming like a little girl. I mean, I don't want them on me, but if they're little, there's even, I hope you're sitting down. Might find this hard to believe. There's even some spiders that are cute. As I've seen cute spiders at work, and they were small. They were probably about this big. I don't mean their body. I mean all around. And they were little jumping spiders. They'd hop. They were outside. They were like some product I was looking at or something like that. There are cute spiders. I don't hate spiders. Now, tarantulas, I know tarantulas don't do anything. They're creepy as shit, okay? So if they had these around, yeah, not putting up with those. But with that said, if a spider comes in the house, they're dead meat. I will go hunt them down because they will bite you. As a last resort, they're hungry and you're them, and but I'm not a spider hater. You like spiders. And they like you too. I'm prejudiced. There's some creatures I just don't like, and there's some that I do. And I'm not afraid to admit it. I like birds of prey. I just freaking do. Now, if they were swooping at me, maybe I wouldn't like them, okay? But I get excited when I see birds of prey. And we have a fair number of them here. I was trying to figure out what was going across the street from work, because there's a big melon patch away from work. It was like a cow field for the longest time. And now it's a melon patch, and it's probably, well, I could go on YouTube and tell you what it is. It's freaking big. It's huge. And it's in a big clearing. And you could see when you could see all the melons, like a field of melons. They look like they're light green or off-white, at a distance. In the last couple of days, there's been a flurry of bird activity overall. And I don't mean just any bird activity, but what we like to call a kite. It may not actually be a kite, but it's got a split tail. So it's a predator type bird. So I'm sure they're probably messing with the other birds there that are, trying to pick at the melons or something like that. But I didn't get much. I'm driving by at 55 miles an hour. I'm not exactly watching Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? You have tarantulas in Utah. How is that possible? If it's in the house, it dies. Yes, unless it's a frog. We try to save them. And we don't like all frogs, but we do ones in Florida because they're all cute. Or at least the ones that are here. Frogs and toads we have here are adorable. And they eat bugs. And they're one of the few creatures I don't mind picking up. If they're in the house. Otherwise, I just leave them alone. Big frog fan here. And the little toads, too, that are about that big around. They're adorable. The problem with toads is their defense mechanisms is to stand still, which may work great against some adversaries, but not against a moving car wheel. And so, I woke up and, there it is. There's a squashed toad. Like, dude, the car was coming, and we didn't see you. You couldn't get out of the way? Nope. Yeah, so this is what the standard KV looks like. And that's what it looks like with a heavy bolted on armor. So I have seen some unarmored turreted KVs with the armored front, but I've never seen a KV2 with any armor, extra armor on it. I hear the sea life Florida Way is in trouble. Oh, are you watching the internet? I saw some article like that. I kept moving. It's like, oh, you think you're having a good day? Oh, just turn on the news. You want to make you worry about all kinds of shit. Well, whatever it is, the world will adapt, and it's going to outlive us. I didn't click on the article. But I believe it because it's freaking hot as shit anywhere it's not in the ocean. Okay, bird of prey story. I was standing at the top of the upper parking lot at my university near some bushes when all of a sudden bald eagle shot out of the sky right over my shoulders. Did he poop on you or something? There's got to be more to that story. Fly like an eagle. Do people that don't sing well, I'm one of those. Do other people that don't sing well enjoy singing and torturing folks? That'd be like, I don't know how to put a model together and I paint like shit. Let me start a YouTube channel. What, so people can make fun of you? Barely missing my head by an inch or so, swooped over the bushes and came out flying over with a field mouse. Oh, field mice are cute, but they're destructive bastards. There's some people that have the strangest pets. I know a guy that's got pet rabbits, and they just destroy all of his furniture, and he thinks it's funny. And I'm like, that shit wouldn't fly with me. Rodent. You've seen those programs? Some crazy coot in the land down under has a wombat for a pet. Great. Something that's a digger. No. I do not have a bird of prey story. I'm sorry. other than we have them here all the time. We're big fans. Bald eagles or otherwise. I did see a bald eagle one time. I was on the way somewhere, and he was just following the road. So it was almost like he could see where the road was, and he's like, I'm just going to follow this road instead of just flying over whatever the hell he wanted to. Thought that was interesting. He did it for a long time. I'm sure eventually he got off the road, but he was, maybe 30 feet off the ground following the road. Okay, what else is left on this heavy armor variant? That may be it. We said we weren't going to glue these. I don't know whether I'm going to make this one with a hatch open or closed. So I don't have to decide now. 2 down. Next. There's a pair of kestrels, tiny hawks, that patrol my neighborhood. Everyone loves them and reports on their latest sightings. Makes for great catching moles, mice, and snakes. Yeah, we got a mole problem here. It's not huge, but it's a problem. But we knew somebody that gave us some of those solar things that are supposed to vibrate, and we've had them for about a week, and I don't know that it's made a difference. I don't think they've gotten any worse, so. We don't have any cats or dogs, so a digging dog would be a good way to deal with those guys. All right, we need to do that, and then we need to cut all these little parts off. Is it bad that I don't feel sad that I didn't go to Historicon? It's probably a blessing. Mitch the other day is like, oh, I would have gone, but money's tight. I said, bullshit. If I would have gone, you would have gone. He's like, yeah. I need the vacation days. Especially if we're going to move. Move, relocate. Kind of hard calling it a move. Would actually be closer to both of our works. Recently saw a documentary called Ultimate Tanks and Armor World War II. Episode was on T-34. Tony was held in my own state not far from me, and I didn't go. Yeah. Well. Not your thing. The thing that I would have wanted to go the most is just do a video on the vendors and just kind of walk around and do videos of the show. I don't really need to play anything. All right, this should keep me busy for a little bit. Well, it's the first one I missed since I started going. And the first one I didn't go to was the year that they didn't have it. And then they moved it, the following year they did have it, but then they moved it to November. And they had a bunch of masking crap. Which, you know, I'm not going to be one of those people. It's like, well, I'm not going to obey the rules. I'm just like, I don't like the rules. I'm not going to play that. I mean, that's why I do play video games. I don't play video games with people online because I like to interact with people face to face. It wasn't even the cost for me not going. It's just the days off and hassle having to do all the work to fix it when you get back. Actually, it's not all the work. It's you got to do all the work and you got to wait until the last minute because people will change your mind. Then you have to redo it. So it's this fine balance of wait till the last minute, but don't. There are a few videos. Maybe somebody did of vendors. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Well, I heard that the people that carry the Essex miniatures, B and C, sold out and weren't there. So not that I need any of those. I don't need anything really. Now, one thing that's interesting is a lot of KV2s didn't have any markings on them at all. There are some with big logos like, come at me, bro. But then there's also ones that, come at me, comrade. But then there's some that just have no numbering at all. I'm going to try to avoid that because I need a way to identify them. Saw Little Wars put one, but honestly not interested in their heavily edited account of the con. Close to me too. Me, I'll go next time. Man, such disdain for Little Wars. Yeah, I know what you mean about the heavy. That is a ton of work. It is a ton of work to edit this out. Don't do that. Actually, that's not the bad part. It's when you got it where you want it, then all right, go ahead and crunch it. And every modification, switch thing that you did, pan to something else, really bogs whatever system you're doing down tremendously. And it takes a long time to get through that, to process it. That's the worst part, because editing the video is actually fun. But at some point you have to decide, okay, if I keep adding more details, more zooms, more of this kind of stuff, I'm going to end up with a video that's going to take several days to process if it doesn't jam. Tamiya new tooled the KV1 and KV2. Cool. You think they're extremely fake. Well, I'm not going to judge them. I know that, and I've said this before, when I went, Mitch and I went, and we went through there, we encountered one of the videos they were doing. One of the games they were doing. And I recognized this guy. I don't remember what his name is before. I want to say his name is Chaz. And he was super nice in person. And he doesn't come off that nice on video. See, normally you would expect somebody to be really cool on video, and in person they'd be kind of a dickhead. This guy was actually really nice in person. And I didn't do the video to, hey, let's get these guys that are normally on TV to, make fun of them. Man, that's not my thing. Don't really do any. But he had an Italian game, and it was beautiful. But a couple of the other guys that were on the from their channel who seemed to be friendlier were almost like, you're filming me. I'm not gonna do shit, man. It's not. I could see a famous person and I wouldn't do that kind of crap. I'm not a groupie. The groupiest thing I've done is I was at a car show and I encountered this one guy that just hit over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's got great content. And I got to talk to him for about 5 minutes. But, he was talking to somebody. I waited till I was done. I didn't come in and, invade his personal space, And what I really liked about that guy is he seemed like he was in person the same way he was on his video. I like that. I'm a fan of that. Be real. Even if it means you're being a real asshole. Be real. I've known people that are one way when they're around their buddies and their wife, sorry, dear, yeah, I'm like, come on, man. That's too much work. StoreCon, same week as San Diego Comic-Con. I know which one I'd want to go to. They call it Comic-Con, and then they have, people that are, the guy that played the janitor on Firefly. I don't know, was there a janitor on Firefly? I don't know, I'm the only person that didn't watch that show. Not true, I watched 3 episodes and go I'm done. I don't want to watch it anymore. I played a supporting role on a show that nobody watched. I don't mind having my picture taken with somebody, but it needs to be somebody I've had a conversation with, for a little bit of time. Not just hey, look, it's a random thing. Let me take a picture here. You go to a Hex Encounter Wargame Con at least once. Okay, Nerd Burglar. All right, that's it. Where's Rick? Invoke the Rick. Rick can't cook, but he does a superb job of explaining games, which is something I suck at. I can't be good at everything, and I am not good at that. And I don't want to be good at it. That's part of it too. If it's something you really set your heart out to do, I see something that I like painted better than the stuff that I paint, and that's empowering. I'm like, screw that. I'm going to do better. But, explaining rules, yeah. Comics are your life. I don't think I've ever bought a comic before. I've had some handed to me, but You stuffed Rick in a trash can and rolled him down the hill to Alleyway Alley. Salt Lake City has a Comic Con. I've gone every year except this one. Our Comic Con is tons of fun. Do you have dress-up people there? I know, the dress-up thing's kind of weird. All right, I got to split these in two different groups. You know, if you look like the person you're supposed to represent, cool. But, you know, don't come in weighing 500 pounds and want to, you know, dress up like Tomb Raider. Kevin, was your dad in comics? I've said this before. We're so affected by our fathers. Assuming you know who they are. My dad never watched any sports. Hence, I don't watch any sports. I mean, it doesn't always work that way, but... My dad was into history. I'm into history. My dad wasn't into miniatures. Screw him. It doesn't work for everything. The dress-up thing. Love history's war. I was at Walmart recently. Was I? You should tell me. I rarely go there. And I'm one of those people that if I have to go to Walmart, I like that there's automatic registers, because that's one less grumpy person I have to deal with in that store. I liked that store when the old man was alive. As soon as he died, it went to shit. And now it's even worse. There's unstocked shelves, there's shit missing. I don't like going in a store that's not well stocked. It's like, what kind of apocalypse are we in? "500-pound females trying to dress up like Tomb Raider." I can't believe they didn't cast the girl in that movie that does the voice in the video game. I was never a fan of the old video game, and then somehow I got the new one, like whenever it got relaunched, like 2015 or something like that. And I think I got it free or something like that with buying the Xbox One or something like that, and something like that. And I was watching how they. Oh, I better use instructions for this. This is cattywampus. How they did the animation for it, and they had the actress that plays her that looks like her. And she's wearing one of those suits with the little white balls everywhere so they could, you know, track all the movements or something like that. They should have cast her for the movie. She looks exactly like the girl. Has the voice and everything. So. And she's cute. Not much, but he did have some of his parents just clean attic and threw him out when I started. Oh, man. Okay, so this is the one where the sprocket is this way, and they all go this way. So all of these sprockets are the ones that go with this one. All these wheels are the ones that go with that one. Okay? And we got to put the end ones last. We got to put these in first, because they all go towards the idler. They move towards the front on this side. So is it safe to say that, you know, gamers are generally weird. Is it safe to say that cosplay women, even though they're attractive, are weird too? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm honestly scared to go to one of those conventions. Kind of like my daughter when she's like, hey, you know, she'll be in the car with me. Let me stop in the game store for some paint. No, I don't want to go there, Daddy. Those kids scare me. I'm like, they have never kissed a girl. You're good. Although game stores are getting weirder and weirder. We got one here in our local town that's just like a freak show. You got people that go in there and they dress up like a rhinoceros and shit like that. I had a girlfriend who cosplayed as a Kitsune Kev. As a Kitsune. What the hell is a Kitsune? Kitsune. There's a couple girls I've seen that are really attractive that do that, but I'm wondering if they're just advertising that for their OnlyFans account. Whatever the hell that is. Oh shit. Did I still booger this one up? A fox spirit. They're all nerds. Everybody's a nerd. I'll say that all the time, you know? I mean, I grew up in the 80s. A nerd is a bad word. But even these jock people, they're stat nerds. They know how far somebody ran around with with a turkey under their arm. So don't give me that. Okay. All right, and then this one is right here. Anime is very popular among non-nerds. I haven't found one that I care for because of the plot style. The plot thing. The one I watched as a kid as an 8-year-old, I freaking loved as an 8-year-old. And I wish they had updated that one. You know? But ever since then, I'm like, that art's cool, or that's a silly plot, you know. Girls und Panzers and shit like that. You know, like, come on, man. I mean, the Japanese have a rich history, and it's all like pissed away on some of their shows. They got all the, schoolgirls with machine guns and stuff like that. I'm like, that's just not my thing. And when you go to one of these shows, a lot of these people that you meet that are, famous, you know that they don't like you guys. They're like, you guys are nerd burglars. I'm coming here because I'm just doing it for a coin. Man, get off me. I mean, they should be thanking you guys. If it wasn't for, people watching your show, they'd have to get a normal employment. Animation is very popular. Managed to collect a lot of autographs from voice actors and anime folks. That has got to be the easiest job in the world, is be a voice actor. I would love to do that. I basically am. Except the voice actors that are in Dynasty Warriors. That's some terrible voice acting. All right, let's see what this. I'd be a natural. Well, I can't do everything, but my big gripe with shows, and there's this show that was on, and I think it was an excellent show, called Marseille, no, Versailles, and it's about Louis the 14th, and it's basically a chick show, with sex and stuff like that. I guess that stuff's okay, but if you're into that, I just wanted to know so I could read more about history and stuff like that. But they got all the characters are supposed to be French, and I'd say less than a third even attempt to do a French accent. And it's like, you guys are actors. You should be like a natural with a little bit of training. I mean, I could do that with some training. Fake an accent, you could get a little bit of training in doing that. I don't think that's that difficult. Vin Diesel plays D&D. I wouldn't want to play with him. He just doesn't. I'm not a fan of his. He's a little too rough around the edges for me. Okay. Oh, that was good. That last sip. I would play D&D if it was with miniatures, with terrain. Absolutely. And I don't mind role-playing. My role-playing is play your character and then have outbursts in potentially that character's voice when interesting things happen. Not all the time. Turn that shit off. But when something happens, like, say you take an arrow in your, in the back of your head or something like that, you got to like make a comment, like if you're that character. That's it. Not more than that, No LARPing. That shit's weird, okay? I've said it before. Gamers are weird. There's a difference between being nerdy, which we all can do, and there's nothing wrong with, and what in the heavens? Okay. And scaring the wildlife. All right. Let me go see what you sent me. Katuni, Keke, what? I hate email, but I love Facebook Messenger. It's easy. It's easy just to share a picture or something. Emails are annoying. This your girlfriend or just some random person? Oh, this is an anime. Let's see. I like everything except the ears. That's just too like anamorphic. I don't really care for adults wearing tails. I'm not saying I don't know if that character has a tail or not, but I don't like the ear thing. Everything else on it is, I'm okay with. Okay, this is this one. This is this one. Okay, and it wants me to put the front like so. Robin Williams would be hilarious to have played a game with, but he's also like all over the place. It's like, dude, man, if somebody needs a smoke pot, I guess it would be him because he's wound up big time, like freaking Coke. I want to say I've heard him do voices to something like that on one of his act or something like that. And I'm a fan of Robin Williams. Don't get me wrong, but he's definitely on speed, or was on speed. Speed Demon. Back in the 70s, I recall very few nerdy girls, and they were a little strange. The girls today, I wish we had them then. I don't know. I'd want the girls back then with the income I have now, not being freaking penniless. A penniless student. One of the funniest cosplay characters was a guy dressed as a street preacher carrying a sign, Jesus saves, everyone else roll D20. I've seen that on a bumper sticker. Usually people that have a bumper sticker like that are really anti-Christianity, though. I'm just saying. Maybe this guy wasn't, but... And I don't necessarily find that offensive. I just, All right. 2 pieces at the front. I did check the link. Did you hear my comment on it? I said I'm not a fan of the. I'm not a fan of the ears. And I don't know if that character has a tail, but I'm not a fan of tails either. Like adults wearing fake tails. That's a little kinky in the wrong way. But I liked everything else. What does the fox say? Wee wee wee. I can hear Mitch laughing about that right now. Wee. I haven't seen any anime that I'm like. I mean, there's some anime-ish stuff that I think would be cool if they got redone. Like I remember as a kid, my brother would watch The Mysterious Cities of Gold, which is, I don't know if it's technically anime, it's French, but it's done in an anime style. And I loved Battle of the Planets when I was a kid. But that was like in 77, 78, and that was a refurbished anime from like 71. Like it was even brought in, it was even older than it was. It had to be there's some things that were changed on it for the US audience, but I liked those. It's usually plots that are just too much chaos, just like an everything goes kind of things. Some things, the tails? Yeah, it didn't do it for me. Which was not a bad show. Mysterious Cities of Gold or Battle of the Planets or both. Okay, this is a non-hull armored version. Speed Racer, never saw it. Obviously I know what it is, but it wasn't on when I was a kid. And just a little too flat, seems like. Remake of Battleship Yamato is really well done. The plot updated, effects outstanding. Cities of Gold, yeah. Yeah, it was a French production, but it was definitely anime style. You know, big eyes. Hey, let's Japanese artists. We'll make all the eyes really big. What? Wishful thinking. Yeah, my brother used to watch that one. And actually watched a fair number of them with my daughter. And then we, because they were available online or whatever. You can watch things in order. That's the best thing about things now. You can find everything and you can watch them in the order they were intended, not in the order that you happen to catch them in. Voltron, never seen it. Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. Ah, Snapdragon. Backplate. Gundam 80 War in the Pocket. It's a strange. French did asterisk. I know what it is, but I never saw it. Was it a cartoon? I thought it was a comic book. Yeah, isn't that Gundam stuff that basically what BattleTech ripped off? Yeah, it's a Phoenix Hawk, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, and if Rick's on here, he was playing a game. He made a post about a month ago, and I forgot to give him hell about it. Hold on. Let me go make myself another... Let me go grab a soda. Where's Rick so I can give him hell about this? He was playing a game the other day that was based on... What was it called? I can't think of what it's called now. That kids show where there's the monsters that are made out of dress up. Power Rangers. He's playing a Power Rangers game. I'm like, come on, man. You're not old enough to watch Power Rangers. maybe it is. Maybe it's been around that long. Robotech, that's right. So what's the difference between Robotech and Gundam? Yeah, that's right. Battletech is a ripoff of Robotech. So I've heard. Yeah, that Marauder. The Marauder in Battletech is direct descendant of Robotech. I gave him crap for that. I haven't seen Power Rangers since 1993. It was around that long? I thought you were too old for that. My daughter watched it for a little while. I'll be honest with you, if I was a kid, I'd watch it. I think the concept is interesting with the live action, all the fake fights and, the rubber suits and stuff like that. There's parts of it that, but I wouldn't watch as an adult. Just hard to keep track of who's on what season. Oh, it's the pink one, it's the blue one. Yeah, but the characters and stuff change from each one, I think. No, the acting on it is so bad. Like, not the action sequence, but the acting on a lot of those shows is terrible. The original Power Rangers came out in August of 93. I wasn't yet 10 at that point. Well, I would have been 22. So, yeah, I'm not watching it. And actually, the worst thing about those shows, those type of shows, is people that are in the show don't act like they're the age that they are. So if you've got somebody that looks like they're discernibly 25 and they're acting like a teenager, it's really annoying. Power Rangers notebook and pencil the school year. Wow. Sounds like you could play that game. That just seems like something that came out last year. No, we're not making the heavy armored version. Put that down. Ultraman. Ultraman sounds like something we can't come up with a name. Kalim Ultraman! Okay. And so he was coined. Well, what I was expecting to get in the mail today came in the mail, and I haven't opened it yet because I haven't even opened it, and I'm already disappointed with it. It's too small. I know. Do I get that a lot? No, I don't. It's that molding stuff, and it's like the package is like not even big enough to do anything. Oh well, it helps if I just follow the instructions. It's 2 on this side. Think not. I'll play a Transformers game. Those almost Transformers Generation 1. I got the Transformers video game that has the cell animation, like the old TV show. It's a little one-dimensional, the gameplay on it, but yeah, I watched the original one back then. You know what I think is really cool about Transformers? The guys that still voice Optimus Prime and Megatron are still at it. I think that's pretty cool. And again, got to be an easy job. You can do it from home in your underwear. if you choose to wear some. My favorite one was always Soundwave. I thought Soundwave looked so cool. And I guess they've redone the toys or whatever, but I only remember the Gen 1 toys when I was a kid. Although I wouldn't call it Gen 1, I'd call it the original ones. That is what Gen 1 means. Yeah, I just don't call things Gen 1. I don't know. It's not something I use. What are we missing? We're missing the tube. The tube? No, we're missing the saw. Oh, that's right, because they put it on a turret. Dumas. Nope. Yep. What was really cool at Historicon, this one guy, I've mentioned this before the pandemic, so that would have been 2019. And I didn't know this game was going on or would have gone up there and taken a look earlier. He ran at least one session of a G.I. Joe game, like the cartoon, but he'd printed his own figures in 28 millimeter, and they were well painted, and the terrain was well done. And I got a kick out of it. Mitch and I just stumbled across that, and we're like, holy shit, it's the original G.I. Joe stuff. And there's a trouble bubble with fire. And I started rambling all this terminology out that I hadn't talked about since I was 14 years old, or 13 years old, or both. And yeah, just part of the useless shit, you know, that you stored somewhere in your brain. But it was the coolest thing. You know the one I liked? My daughter watched one. It was, I think it was called Transformers Prime, and the art in that one was really cool. The style that one was done in was really cool. Bye-bye. Hasbro basically bought a toy line in Japan, handed some of the toys to one of their writers to come up with names and such. Then the show was born from those toys. And later became the toys. Okay, so what Generation 1 Transformer was named, did the writers just miss the boat on? Like, what's named stupid? Jazz. Let's see, what's that got to do with anything? Aren't you a Grimlock fan? I want to say you're a Grimlock. Me, Grimlock! I tend to not like thuggish characters that are just like, you know, brute force, all brawn. Grimlock and the other two Transformers, and nobody knows their name of them. I only had a few of the toys. My favorite one was me, Grimlock, kick butt. Jazz always blasted music from his speakers. Well, was it jazz music? Because if it wasn't, then the name doesn't apply. Dinobites are hilarious, though, especially in the movie. What are the other two? There's a Triceratops. There's a Triceratops, a T-Rex. Grimlock is a T-Rex, right? I think so. It's a Triceratops. What would the next one be? It'd be too cool to be an Ankylosaurus, but that's not it. I didn't have too many of the toys, but the favorite one I did own, well, I did have a Soundwave, and I did have this Decepticon called Blitzwing, and it transformed 3 different ways. It could be the robot or a tank, which looked like a T-62-ish, or a MiG-23. It was totally a MiG-23, which in real life is a shitty plane, but looks pretty cool. I'm a fan of the looks of a MiG-23. Okay, and I believe I don't know what I'm going to do with the hatches open. So we'll just we'll wait on that. Meaning, let me put them all together, and then I'll be able to figure it out which way I want to do, because it's a permanent decision. I like the moves because of CGI. The first one was okay. I probably would have enjoyed it more if I had a thing for what's her name, but I don't. I tend not to like unintelligent women, or ones that appear to be unintelligent. Crap. Where's the sprue that has the machine guns on it? Here, hidden in plain sight. I didn't see them. I never liked the original TV show where it's like Megatron could be like, he transformed into a pistol and somehow fit in somebody's hand. I think the modern iteration, he's like a tank or something, right? That's a little bit more appropriate. Slag. Man. Snarl. Sludge. Oh, there's 5? Grimlock takes all the glory, man. Nobody knows who those other guys are. And weren't there Decepticon bug ones, right? There's one that was like a big, like a rhinoceros beetle or something. Who knows what the hell those were called? The toy that I thought looked really good, there was one of the airplanes, I think he's called Decepticon airplane, called Thrust. And I always liked the way that one looked because it was black and red. But who knows? Maybe if I saw it now, I'd be like, that just looks like crap. I thought I was taking the headlight out, and I didn't. You distracted me with robots. Insecticons, that's right. Those were okay. I didn't really care for the ones that transform into the big one because they're all like construction equipment. Ooh, you know, not exactly evil. Can't remember what they're. Devastator. They'd turn into Devastator or something like that. Like safety green colored. See that guy coming up. Shrapnel, bombshell, and kickback. Oh, kickback is a grasshopper. Constructicons. Yeah, I always thought that was a lame. Never had them. I had Blitzwing. I had Soundwave. What else did I have? I'm sure I had a couple of the good guys, but I don't remember who they are. I don't remember which ones I had. Hook, Bone Crusher, Mix. Look out, it's Mix Master. Scrapper and Scavenger. Scrapper's got to have an Australian accent. Yep. Yeah, I had. I don't know how many of those dual changers they had, but I liked that one. He was like beige and purple. He's a robot that went three ways. I just don't remember what those things went for when they were new. I want to say like $15 or something. Like Blitzwing would be like $15, which I guess is quite a bit of money. But they're well-made toys. I mean, there's thought that goes into them. Astro Train, bend over, here it comes. And Blitzwing were the dual changers for the Decepticons. Springer was one of the Autobots. Under $10 a piece. Yeah, I just don't remember. Did you see the price tag on that helmet was like $1.75? Like, what the hell? That's got to be a long time ago. I like people always like throwing around. Well, things were less expensive back then. People didn't get paid shit back then. You know? Gas? Oh, gas was a quarter. Yeah, okay. And you made 50 cents an hour. So that'd be like gas costing. That'd be like gas costing, $10 a gallon. Looking for the bottom plate, and there should be one. There it is. It already came off. This plastic is so brittle. You know what toy from the 80s I loved? Stompers. And I had several of the Stomper tanks, and those go for a pretty penny if you've got them in working order. I had several of those. I had an M60, a Tiger 1, a 250/9, a Centurion. I guess I had 4 of them. I was old enough to realize that was the wrong Soviet tank to have with them. They'd be like a T-62 or some shit like that. Like, one of these things, not like... At least the Centurion's close. And I didn't sand the barrels on purpose. I was going to wait till they were attached. Get a better purchase on them. And that one's done. And of course, we're going to make the KV turret for as well. But let's build the other hull first. Yeah. Well, I was that age when they came out. You know, when they came out, I was like 13. I had a bunch of like the Generation 1 and 2, 8. I had the G.I. Joe stuff from 82, 83, 84, 85. Maybe some 86 ones as well. I had a lot more G.I. Joes than I had Transformers. Your toys in the 80s were computers. I know, because you're old. You wouldn't be playing with those toys in the... at the age that you were. I always wanted a Commodore 64, never got one. I didn't have my own computer until 1999. Just didn't have that kind of money. Yeah, but the slot cars you have, Kevin, aren't like the slot cars back then. I'm sure they're pretty advanced now. Yeah, when I had Legos, the only figures they would have, they'd have smiling face. Yeah, they all had smiling faces. That's it. It didn't matter whether you were one of the astronauts in red, yellow, white, and blue, or the policeman, the firefighter, something like that, you know? I remember I had a boat that actually floated in water. It was, I think, 3 pieces, maybe 4 pieces or whatever. And it had like this, you could attach the keel, and it could float in water. Let me go grab that stuff while I'm thinking about it. So here's the package I haven't opened. And this is why I haven't opened it. It's freaking tiny. I guess I could safely open it from here, even if I'm going to return it. It's freaking tiny. Maybe it's not that small. All right, maybe it's not that small. All right, Nordic, what's this say? You're the expert. It's got like an anime chipmunk. Or anybody dress up as one of these? This is that blue stuff that you can like melt in hot water and like make molds out of it, and then use milliput to put things. So The first thing I'm going to try is I've got some extra spare parts for the Soviet tanks. We'll probably do that over the weekend and just see how it is. This is like $9 for. Somebody was talking about it. It's Hinodewashi Oyumaru. Oh, I forgot the bow. It says error alert. Never had the town stuff, only had the castle stuff, the pirate stuff, and some of the space stuff. Yeah, well, the stuff I had was long gone. I got mine in the 70s, so. And the thing is, it's not reusable. It's reusable. So we'll see. But the Legos reminded me, I got to go somewhere and buy a basic Lego set. Because somebody said to make the mold out of Legos, and it makes sense. You know, you just need the sides out of Lego, and then you can just set it on here or something like that. Because once it cools, it's cool. So, we'll. You can't order Legos online; they're like too expensive, and I just want like basic shit. Even Duplo would work. You melt it, and then you can press a piece into it, and then it cools, you pull the piece out, and then you can stick milliput and make it. I don't know if it'll work. We'll see. If other people can make it work, I can make it work. I'm crafty like that. You know, then I wouldn't mind buying one of the Plastic Soldier Company accessory sets and make extra road wheels. I'm not going to sell them. I just want, I don't want to pay freaking, if I need some Czech 38 road wheels, geez, it's like $30 for a set of them. It's just too expensive. It's not good value, so I haven't bought them. I don't know. I bet I'm not supposed to do that, but I paid for it and do whatever the hell I want with it. I'm not going to sell them to anybody. That would be not cool. I just don't know why that accessory set doesn't cost like $10. It's like, see, I can have accessories or I can buy 3 new vehicles. Oh, might as well take these off as well. Yeah, I watched a guy that used the stuff from Green Stuff World that's similar, and he did a video, and I watched the whole video, and I'm like, he was trying to do things that were too complicated, I have relatively easy things that I would do. The problem with Legos is this. Once you see, it's like Minecraft. Once you see the jagged nature of some of the lines, you can't unsee them. I just have trouble with that. Not saying they're not cool or anything. I wonder if I could use the Legos I have to make a mold. Yes, I have Legos, kind of. I don't know. I have this. Oh, I gotta be careful. Make sure things don't fall out of it. No, I can't do it. It's too small. This stuff. And they pulled a Games Workshop and discontinued it. I thought this was a really cool toy. It's called Heroica, and it's basically D&D and Legos. And there's expansions to it. Like this is a playing piece, and here's, you move 1, 2, 3. There's a spot for your guys to go, and your figures are just, you know, they don't have any. This is the wizard. Actually, very cute. They don't have any arms or anything. You know, here's the Goblin King. And it comes with a die that's rubber coated, so it's nice and bouncy, and it tells you what happens on it. It's actually a pretty cool game. I played it with my daughter several times, and people have made other rules to let you play the bad guys, make them a little bit more interesting. But I got this when she was 10, and I got 2 expansions for it, but they discontinued it. Pretty sure Rick has these. If he doesn't, then you should, because you know he likes fantasy games and he likes Legos. So, but there's not really much to build. It's just almost like a board game with Lego. Oh, is that where my hat is? I was wondering where my F it, we'll do it live hat is. I put some hats away, I have a ton of them. I pretty much just wear hats, either if I'm going to the beach or if I've showered, I don't want to put stuff in my hair. No point in putting stuff in your hair and going to bed. Won't be casting any somatic component spells. I guess they involve your hands. Only 2 people on tonight? Come on, folks. You could do better than that. They involve gestures, okay. Hand gestures. Well, we got a fault line representation. There we go. Sorry, I didn't put the camera overhead. We're not doing anything super intense. When we go back to do the T26, we'll do that. Which, by the way, that's what we'll do next. But I don't think we're going to start on it tonight. We won't return to it tonight, let's put it that way. Because it's already 10. Didn't throw my wash in the dryer, yeah. Worst thing is when you... Oh yeah, you left it in there. It could probably stay most of a day and not get a stink. I remember when I was a kid, we had a dryer and we never used it. We'd still hang clothes outside, and then it would stink of outside, because in Florida, the outside stinks. I think it's the humidity. There's only one thing I hate about modeling. When you're doing it, time just goes too fast. Kevin, who's the nicest people that you've gotten an autograph from at a Comic Con? And who's the least nicest person you got, that you've interacted with? I mean, there's no point saying, oh, that guy's an asshole. Well, did you meet him? No, not really. Well, you can't really say that. I'm just afraid that if I went at Comic Con, I would end up having a reaction to people be like, "Don't you know who I am?" I'm like, "No, you're a freaking side act on a show I never watched, so I have no idea who the hell you are." All right. Got to refer to the drawing for this one because it always seems like it's a deciphering challenge. All right, this one is this one, and then this one's over here. Okay, I think this idler wheel, I can never remember this. This one needs to go in first, or the sprocket one. Let me think. It's not that one, it's this one. Jewel Satie was the nicest. No idea who that is. Should I? I'll look up in a second who. Actually, I'll look up right now. I don't have any live glue. Jewel Satie. Jewel. Canadian actress. Oh, she's the Firefly girl. Okay. Yeah, she's fairly attractive. She looks like somebody I used to know, and I don't know who. She looks familiar. You think why people like actors and actresses so much is because they watch them in their own home? Maybe there's some kind of a fake connection there. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking out loud. Okay, these all face this way. I should have done this ahead of time. Well, I can do them one at a time. This one goes here. Here's another one. Now this is the tricky one. Yeah, the other one goes in first. Anne Wheaton. Will Wheaton's mother? I don't know. Anne Wheaton. No, his wife. What's she known for? Oh, Neverland Tabletop Project also. Okay. She's got to be older than him. Because Will Wheaton's younger than I am, I think. By a little bit. God, he was an annoying kid on that show. Actually, I didn't like anybody on that show. I was not a fan of that show. But all of my friends were, well, all the, the people that like science fiction. Oh man, what did I do? Okay, this one's complete, so all the other ones go in the opposite direction. What was her character on that show? A mechanic or something like that? I don't know. I saw 3 episodes of it. The problem I had with the show is I don't think that what's his name is the right cast for that character. I can't think of what his name is. Just think he's too wishy-washy. Well, if you doesn't want to meet, just play games with him. Seems like a lot of fun. Okay, so this one goes here, and this one goes here. Stay shiny. Is that something her character would say? What's his name? What's his name? That's going to drive me bananas. And it's funny because I actually like him in other roles. I just don't like him in that role. And I'm sure everybody that likes the show disagrees with me on that point, and that would make sense. Nathan Fillion. I just think Nathan Fillion is the wrong cast for that role. Only celeb I've ever met was Orlando Bloom, and he seemed like a real nice chap. I've only met Phil Barker and that guy off the YouTube channel I was telling you about with the cars. I don't know, do the Little Wars guys count? Actually, I only met the one guy because the other ones were like hiding under a table. Not really, but sort of. Like, dude, I don't bite. They may be fake, but they do a lot more for the hobby than I do. But, they are more than one person, and they are into a lot of different periods, and I'm not. And I'm only one person. But if you ever encounter me, you'll know exactly what I'm like, because this is it! Got an autograph from Stan Lee just before he died. Did not look well. Some say he was forced to be there. Do I consider Frank Chadwick a celebrity? Yeah, probably. Man, that dude's done a lot of stuff. He actually reminds me physically of someone I used to game with. But he seems extremely laid back. Very, very laid back. I don't mean that in a bad way. He was the designer of probably the worst war game I've ever played, and will never play it again. But, he's done more winners than I have. It stands that he's done more losers. I just wish I had encountered some of his games when I was young, when I was older, because when I saw them, they were just too complicated. Like, I remember I had a game called Suez 73, and it was so complicated, at least it seemed like it to a kid, that there was like stuff you had to flip the counter over on. But I mentioned his rules the other day when I went over to pick up this stuff. Mitch has a copy of second edition Command Decision. I'm like, hey, those rules aren't perfect, but they're a heck of a lot better than Rapid Fire or Flames of War. Yeah, he seems like a nice guy. Yeah, I'd call him a celebrity. He's been around forever. He's done a lot of the game. Prolific. If I met him, I'd have to like buy a I'd have to bring a copy of Soldier King, and then when he signed it, throw it away. This game sucked. God, this game sucked. But it did whatever he wanted it to do. I've only played Command Decision first edition and second. And second is so much better than the first one. This has got more depth. But I actually like that 1 to 5 scale game. I can look at 3 tanks and go, oh, a company. I'm just used to still, even though I haven't played Command Decision in 30 years. And probably never will. That operational type of thing is yesterday's news. All right, back plate. Got into the habit of using the snips again. Effortlessly. In fact, the currency doesn't broad category. Absolutely not. Everyone's different. Oh, it's a long-barreled Panzer III. Well, which one? Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, yes, it does. Doesn't matter. I haven't played Over the Top. No. You're undefeated? I'm undefeated with him as well, so I've never played with him. Wait, is that considered tied? I kill me. See, if I'd gone to the Historicon this year, I could have found Frank, I'm sure he was there, and said, Who's this Nordic guy you used to play with? Is he, what kind of asshole is he? I don't know why they decided to do these pieces this way, but they're kind of awkward. I've done them enough times and they're still awkward. It's almost like they can't fit it in the place they're supposed to go until some of the plastic melts and it gets reduced in size by a little bit. Flippy Flipplestein. Oh, no, you don't. I saw you. Okay. Top hatch. Top, not hatch, top hole. Top hole. Okay, we're not doing the heavy armor version. Unfortunately. We're just doing 2. So. And it's not because I don't like it, but. If we're done building this tank, we're going to stop for the night. That'll be about the right time. 30 minutes to a launch of a Falcon Heavy from Kennedy Space Center. Maybe. You haven't tried your airbrush and compressor yet? Oh man, what are you waiting for? I thought you already tried it. Forgot to ask you about it. Well, I guess now I won't ask you. I've only seen one launch from here ever, and it was a Challenger when it blew up. So maybe I shouldn't watch any rockets take off. Yeah, you don't want to deal with the cleanup late, for sure. Okay. Took the saw off. Okay, not there. Not falling off. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Well, I'm not too terribly worried about it because that could be a place where I could put something else, so. Tarper. There it is. Hidden underneath here. Mowed 3 lawns. Just too tired. Man. Is that what you're doing for employment for now? doing your own lawn, doing lawns. Hey, you can make some good money doing that, but I think you got to do more than 3. Oh, come over here and mow my lawn. I did it for many years. Never considered paying somebody, and then we got this. Got this grass that you got to mow 3 times to get it to stay down. I'm like, I don't have time for that. Last thing I want to do when I get home is go back outside and the heat. Mowing the lawn's kind of a pain in the ass when you live somewhere that you don't want to spend any time outside anyways. Okay. These 2 will probably have the hatches closed. I think because I've got one with a hatch open. Well, actually, the 2 that I painted have the hatches closed, but I think I've already made one with the hatches open. But this is one of those I'm going to have to manufacture a little piece of a hinge for it because it opens back behind it, and you can't just glue something down. You got to put another piece on there. Okay, folks. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. And when we come back tomorrow, we'll do the KV2 turrets and decide who's going to have what open hatch or what have you. So